I couldn't find my Christmas hat for last week's meeting, but I found it. No.
All right, we will wait just 1 minute. So let a few others join that are trying to jump on here. All right, in order to be respectful of everyone's time, I think we'll get started. Welcome to Roundtable for December. It's good to see everyone. My name is Matt Pegliero. I'm a Cub Master in Holman, Wisconsin. Just a few guidelines and reminders. If you could, please put your name and unit in chat so we know who's getting the information from these meetings. That helps us out. And also please be mindful of background noise. And if you need to mute yourself, please go ahead and do that. There will be 2 breakouts this month. We have a Cub Scout and a Scouts BSA. And I'm not sure if we have self-selection enabled, but we'll make sure everybody gets to the correct breakout as needed. So this is, again, our roundtable team. If you have any suggestions, comments, ideas for future roundtables, we are definitely open to what you need and what will be useful and beneficial for you in helping you to help our youth. So please contact any of us if needed. All right, so David Schmidtke is going to do our opening for us. David, are you with us?
Yes, I am. So if you're in uniform, Scout sign, otherwise hand over heart, and let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Okay, Scout sign. And we'll do the Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help others at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And now the Scout oath, or law, sorry. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And finally, let's end up with the outdoor code again. As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire, be considerate in the outdoors, and be conservation minded too. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so for tonight we have a safety minute dealing with canceling events for severe weather. That's very relevant for what it sounds like might be coming up this weekend. We do have some reminders and some troubleshooting ideas to help you out with Recharter. And I believe there are some people on that maybe have completed their Recharter, and maybe they could answer some questions if anybody has them. And then we'll get into our breakouts and our updates after that. Okay, so before we get to Recharter, let's go to our safety minute. All right, does everybody see that new screen? Yes, okay, very good. All right, so being prepared is part of being a scout, right? And so part of that is planning for weather and knowing how to plan an event safely for the weather, but also knowing when it's time to cancel an event if it's too risky because of that severe weather. And even though it may be disappointing, it's important to note that the risk factors may just be too great, and there may be a time when it's better to cancel an event or to reschedule it because of weather. So what are some of the considerations when we need to decide whether to cancel an event? Well, first of all, it's important to note that we should always have a leader that has done hazardous weather training, which is available at myscouting.org. And that's kind of the first step in providing guidelines for when to cancel or what to do with hazardous weather. And then there are a number of other things to consider. So first of all, making sure that you know the weather forecast ahead of time, and then also during the event or right before the event, making sure that gets checked to see if there's any updates or anything. But then there's other things to consider as well. The location, what is planned, what type of clothing and gear, is there shelter available, the age and experience of the group, who's trained in the group and what level of training there is, how far you are from help, any weather patterns or temperature for that time of year, dangerous conditions from recent weather events like a major snowstorm, the ability to monitor changes during the event, what sort of access to internet or other availability you have, how easy it is to change plans based on the conditions. And it's always important to have an emergency weather plan in place that the group understands. One thing to consider too, especially with our Scouts BSA groups, is even though leaders who are more experienced drivers in winter may be able to get to an event, a lot of our youth may be new drivers and not as experienced. So that's important to remember. One thing to keep in mind is what are our schools doing. It may be best practice to follow the lead of what the schools do in terms of when they cancel events. So resources available. There is that hazardous weather training. There's the Sweet 16 that we went over in an earlier roundtable this month. The Scouts BSA handbook has resources, and then other national weather services like the National Weather Service. Joe, are there any council protocols or guidelines that we should consider with weather, especially in the winter?
Well, our general rule of thumb with council events is that if there's a severe weather warning, that typically would result in a postponement of the event. I think that's a reasonable rule of thumb to use at the unit level. As well, again, it's not a hard and fast, but I think that's a reasonable guidepost. I do appreciate what you had mentioned, Matt, in terms of being cognizant of your Scouts BSA activities and how that may impact youth in your unit that are drivers and things like that. So I know it's always disappointing to cancel an event that has a lot of planning time involved in it, and you realize that hey, people may not be able to come to the makeup date in 2 weeks, but important to be safe as well. And that hazardous weather training is excellent. So I absolutely would recommend that for every one of your unit adults, including just Scout parents as well.
All right, thanks, Joe. Okay, we are back to the slideshow. Does everybody see that? All right, very good. Okay, so on to some reminders and tips and tricks for Recharter. Zach, do you have anything to add, or do you have somebody maybe that could provide some information, somebody that's completed this? And
yeah, thanks, Matt. So the first thing that we want to put out in front of everybody is that on December 17th is when we want to get these charters done. We definitely want to get them done before Everybody gets super busy with the holidays coming up after that. So do your best to try and get it done by then. If you don't think you're going to get it done by the 17th, let me know. Just through an email, hey, this is what I think I'm going to be missing, and maybe we can try and scoot you along a little bit quicker and get that done. One of the tips that you see here, it says you can pay at the council after submitting online, pay by check. So if you pay online with a credit card, you're gonna get charged an admin fee on top of everything, and it's just a couple bucks per kid and per adult. So that adds up really quick, especially if you've got a handful of youth and adults there that you're rechartering. So to avoid that, you can pay at the council. And when you pay at the council by card, we get a 3% fee for running a card. So the cheapest way for everybody to finish their recharter is to pay by a check at the council office. So we really encourage you guys to do that. If you want to pay online with a credit card, that's totally up to you guys. But just know that you are paying a little bit extra per person by doing that. So what you see for the fees for 2021, the unit fee is $75 per youth. The youth is $72 plus a $4 insurance, and the adults are $45 plus a $4 insurance. Any scout that gets the Scout Life magazine is an additional $12. So that stayed $1 a month. And then if you're adding a brand new kid, that'd be $25. So that is not like a Weebelo that's crossing over to the troop or anything like that. It's somebody that's brand new to the program. If you have any multiple members, so like example, Matt is the Cub Master for his pack, but he is also an adult leader in the troop. Matt, your primary registration is going to be the Cub Master, correct?
Yes.
So he will pay as the primary registration, he will pay in the pack, and then he will be marked as a multiple in the troop. And then that'll put a $0 cost for him in the troop. And then he will just pay the pack for his registration. So is that simple enough?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So don't mark them multiple. And the main thing is don't mark them multiple in both units. Wherever they're going to pay, they're just going to be, a normal adult, and then he'll be marked multiple with what other unit he is registered with. So I believe there's another slide, right, Matt?
Yeah, so this is just the resources again that are available that you can look at. There's videos and tutorials and guides to follow.
Yeah, and the tutorial really breaks it down for you. It's a 17-minute tutorial, but if you pull it up and watch that and have your recharter going at the same time, you'll be able to probably get it done by the end of the 17-minute video. I think Tim DeWitt's, are you on tonight? I know you had finished it before and kind of said last month how easy it is. Do you want to say anything else about, kind of the simplicity of it or anything?
I am on, and yes, it is super, super easy. This is one of the times when something changed and you guys said it was for the better, and it really was a lot better. So thank you very much for that. We paid with a debit card, and I just checked our receipt. We did not get charged a convenience fee by paying with a debit card.
Okay. Well, I'd have to look at that. You might have paid extra per kid plus the council fee, but maybe there's a difference between debit and credit. So
most times when you use credit cards, there is some kind of a fee somewhere, and a lot of debit cards don't have that fee. So like I said, I did check the receipt, and that there's no extra charge showing on there anywhere for using the debit card. And it does match up to what the fee is supposed to be for each child.
Well, that's good news to hear, Tim. But I know right now there are some people that are seeing like your total for a youth is like $75.94 or something. And then you do get charged an additional council fee at the end as well. So I don't know if you slip by on them or something, Tim, but we'll continue to kind of monitor that. But if you have any questions, let us know. If you're paying at the council, use the fees that we've got listed here. Someone just sent me a message, if a youth was a member of a different council and they're with us, and now they transferred into our council. So say they were with Madison, now they've come to La Crosse. There's not a new joining fee with that. So as long as they were registered with the BSA somewhere, they do not need to pay that $25 new member fee. So that's how that new member fee works. But if they're, again, brand new to the program, that's when they've got to pay for that. I believe I sent an email out to some of the scoutmasters and committee chairs, kind of my main contact that I've been using with each unit, giving out, another reminder about Recharter and where you can find the tutorial video and things like that. If you haven't received it or hasn't been forwarded on to you and you're the one doing the Recharter, feel free to reach out and I'll forward that on to you as well. Give me a call if you guys need anything and any help or any questions. Your key three are the people that are able to go in and do this Recharter. So if you've got somebody like your advancement chair that's going to do it, they would actually have to have admin permissions through Scout Book. So it's your key three, which is your Cub Master, Scout Master, your committee chair, and then your charter rep. So those are the people that have access to do it. You can pass that along to somebody else. It just takes about 24 hours for that to kind of sync with the system. So know that going into it, and know that you can also pass it off and delegate that responsibility to somebody else. It does not need to fall onto the key three to get it done.
All right, thanks, Zach. I don't know if there's others that had issues that have come up, but certainly share in chat if you have a question, and somebody will be able to get back to you and give you some help.
Sounds good.
All right, so with that being said, we are to the time when we're going to do our breakouts for Scouts BSA and Cub Scouts.
You're going to have the option to select your own breakout room when I open those. And then if you're having challenges with that, or if you're on by your phone, we'll get you divided out to the right spot here eventually. Just kind of be patient with us. Matt, what time do you want the breakouts to close?
I think we have them until 7:45.
Okay. Breakout rooms will open.
Matt,
Zach, do you want me to share?
yeah, if you
screen?
could share the video, that'd be great.
Wrong video, sorry. All right. Do we have everyone, or are we still waiting? Zach, do you know?
Everybody's been either assigned or picked a room. So
Perfect. Zach, do you want to just do the reminder about the district award? I know we have information coming about that later on, but we wanted to have specific reminders for this district.
yeah, so as you guys hopefully are aware, or maybe not, we did a redistricting earlier this year. So we no longer have our 3 districts, and we're down to 2 districts between Scouts BSA and Cub Scouts. So the kind of the 2 program areas, and then that's where we get our scouting communities that we break out into. But with that, each year you get to award somebody the District Award of Merit. And so the Scouts BSA district, we can award 2 people this award this year. And this is typically somebody that's gone above and beyond on the district level. kind of showed scouting spirit and may have, done a little bit of anything. You could have seen them out at summer camp. You could have seen them working on one of our programs that we did throughout the year. You could see them helping out at Roundtable at different times throughout the year. You could see them working with different units and helping them succeed as well. I mean, it can be anything within the scouting program, kind of really focused in on the Cub Scout side though. And then the Scouts BSA will also have 2 that they can award. So if you've got somebody that you can think of, we were looking for nominations, and then on February 8th, we'll have our recognition event, and we'll award those. They'll get a certificate and a plaque. This is a really high honor to get. You can only earn it one time as a scouting volunteer. So if you've got a name that you're thinking of, you can submit your nomination from this link right here, or if you want to know if they've won it before, you can always reach out to the office, and we've got that history too. So we're just looking for nominations. So anybody, like I said, that's kind of gone above and beyond on the district level to help out, let's nominate them and make sure they get their recognition that they deserve.
All right, are you ready for the video now?
Yeah, so tonight we are going to be talking about some online resources and things to help your unit throughout the year become successful. So Matt's going to show a video here real quick, and we'll discuss a little bit. So
Okay. I might show a video. I think hold on one second. My link got closed somehow. Give me 1 second, Zach. All right, here we go. Can everybody see the screen for the video? Okay.
There once was a time when the resources for Cub Scouting came in volumes of printed books and materials. There was a Cub Scout leader book, there was the how-to book, the den leader guide, the song book, and so on. When a new den leader came on board, they were given a box full of books and manuals. Today, we continue to make progress to make the resources needed to deliver the Cub Scout program right at your fingertips and free. Welcome to Roundtable. In this video, we will explore the different resources developed by the National Service Center and the National Cub Scouting Committee that are available today to help you deliver the Cub Scout program. Now, there is always a balance, having enough resources for leaders, but not so much that it becomes overwhelming. With that in mind, we have simplified the resources for Cub Scouting and converted just about everything into a digital format that is available for free. For example, the Cub Scout Songbook now has a free digital version on SoundCloud, so you can actually hear the songs and sing along with your den or pack.
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
Let us start with the basics. Position-specific training. When you first registered as a leader, you were required to take youth protection training. You did this by creating an account on my.scouting.org. On that site, this is where you gain access to online training. From the home page, on the right-hand side is a box labeled BSA Learn Center. This is where you access the training materials for the positions that you may have in Cub Scouting. Now, there are 4 different tracks. One is for den leaders or assistant den leaders, one for Cub Masters and assistant Cub Masters, one for pack committee chairs, and then one for pack committee members. The pack committee module takes less than 1 hour to complete. The other positions take about 2 hours. The training is broken up into bite-sized modules that are about 10 minutes each, so you don't have to commit to taking all the modules at once. It will also remember where you left off. The other great thing about the modules is that many of them are the same for each position, and they count towards your training. So for example, if you are a den leader and you take the modules for den leader, when you're done, you will notice that you only need to take one more module that's only 12 minutes long, and then you will become fully trained as a Cub Master or assistant Cub Master. Now, let us explore the most valuable asset to you, and that is scouting.org. From the main page of scouting.org, simply scroll down until you see the Cub Scout logo and click on that. This will take you to the Cub Scout homepage. It's a good idea to bookmark this page. The first part of the Cub Scout homepage is designed to inform families that are looking to join and those who just joined about the program. Scroll about halfway down the page and you'll see 2 sections, one labeled Learn More and the other labeled Leader Resources. Chances are you already know the information in the Learn More. However, you should take a look at those pages so that you know how to answer people when they have some basic questions. The Leader Resources are designed to give quick access to the things that you need the most. In addition to the most current and new information, these links also provide access to resources based on your position, such as Den Leader, Cub Master, and Pack Committee. We do a deeper dive in this in Den Leader Resources in the Roundtable video, Den Leaders. Today, we will highlight the layout of each of the pages for the different positions. We will use Cub Master Resources as an example, as the Den Leader and Committee Chair pages follow this similar layout. At the top of the page is the position description. Below that is a supporting literature for that position. This includes the Welcome New Leader series. It could be Welcome New Den Leader or Welcome New Cub Master. And this gives step-by-step directions on how to get started. There is one for Cub Masters, Pack Committee, Lion Tiger Den Leader, Wolf Bear Den Leader, and one for Weeblos Den Leaders. You will also find the Welcome New Family, Cub Scout Family resource. That is useful to send to new members when they join or to use at recruiting events. The link to the Guide to Safe Scouting is next. The Guide to Safe Scouting is an overview of scouting policies and procedures. You should definitely bookmark the link to the online version. The online version always has the most up-to-date policies and procedures, and at the top of the page, it has the most recent updates. Next, each leader resource page lists your free digital tools used in scouting. This includes Scoutbook, Scoutbook's Den Leader Experience, the Scouting app, and the Scouting Magazine app. All have direct links to these tools. There's also a link to Cub Chat Live, our weekly Facebook Live event where either myself or the National Cub Scouting Chair take questions and share ideas from you on a specific topic for the week. Each leader resource page has a listing of free printable resources that are important to that position. Now, most of these resources are things that are automatically part of Scoutbook, the online tool for unit leaders. You will also find links to health and safety resources such as meeting place inspection sheet and annual health and medical forms and age-appropriate guidelines. The page is designed to put everything you need just one click away. Now, there are other unofficial resources that are out there, resources designed by our creative volunteers. You may even find some things that look official. So how do you know what is and what isn't? So first, it's important to note that scouting, logos, images, and some phrases are copyrighted and trademarked. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop people from illegally using our brand. Most of the time, it isn't malicious, it just causes some confusion. Someone may use that unofficial site as a way to promote their own thoughts or ideas and not those of the BSA. Official scouting resources are found on scouting.org or is purchased online at scoutshop.org or your local scout shop, and it's that simple. The last resource we'll discuss are unofficial resources. Now, I've seen a couple of unofficial pages that sound official, and they walk a fine line with what they do with copyrighted materials. Often these pages are just links to official BSA documents. A word of caution here, though. those links may lead to outdated materials. Once again, official BSA documents are found on scouting.org or on scoutshop.org. That is the only way to be sure you have the most accurate information. Now, some pages offer craft ideas and decorative ideas for things like Pinewood Derby and Blue and Gold, and usually these are social media channels like Facebook and Pinterest. I often visit these sites and I absolutely love the creativity that people have when it comes to decorations and crafts. But my word of caution here is when you see a craft or activity on those channels, double check. Make sure that it's still Cub Scouting, which means that it's in accordance to the Guide to Safe Scouting and is officially part of our program. And this brings us to other social media sites that may also include discussions or forums about scouting. Like all social media, this should never be used as your sole source of reference. There are some great social media sites out there, and they're administered by those who are involved in scouting and some great volunteers. Those sites that do a good job of keeping the content in accordance to the Scout Oath and Scout Law tend to have a significantly large following compared to those sites that are simply designed to feed negativity. Often these sites will have someone who will direct you to the official BSA resource, if there is one, that addresses the question or topic. Now, that's it for this roundtable. I hope this helps you understand what resources are available to you and where to find them. Now it's your turn. Consider these questions to spark your conversation with your fellow leaders. What resource did you learn about during this video? What resources do you use the most or find the most helpful? What resources does your local district or council have? Which one of these local resources do you find the most helpful? That's it for this roundtable. I look forward to seeing you at the next roundtable.
Awesome. Matt, I think you had those questions there on the slide as well, right? Perfect.
Yeah, is the slide back?
The slide is back. So we can kind of go round robin, either if you've got a comment, let's start with this first question of a resource that you learned from this video. We can either let people kind of chime in, or I can start calling on people as well. So
this is Brenda. I found that there's more to the Learning Center than just the online training that's available. So that was nice to find out.
yeah, there's a ton of stuff you can do in My.Scouting actually. And just doing the training center is just scratching the surface. You can pull training reports. That's where you go in and you accept people that apply through beascout.org. You can do all sorts of different things with your pack. So if you want to sit down with me sometime, I'm more than willing to kind of show you a few things that you can do to really kind of help your pack there. And that My.Scouting is the same login with Scoutbook, which also has a ton of different things to help you out as well. We can kind of dive into those in a second, but anybody else?
Hi, this is Chrissy from 221. I learned that while doing some of the training, it counts as other parts of training, not just a repeat. If you go do one, it counts towards the other, which is kind of nice. Then you're not repeating yourself sitting at a computer.
Yeah, for sure. When I first started 6 years ago, that wasn't the case. And so we looked at all the videos that were repeating, and then we made our own list, and so that way we could do a training together and kind of get everybody trained in one shot. So yeah, that's very helpful. And like you said, it's only an extra 12 minutes after the den leader training to be a Cub Master. Anyone else?
Hey, Zach, it's Amber. I thought it was interesting, and I really like the fact that the resources are all digital. I think buying books constantly, they get outdated within a year or two. I know when Dirk and I took over our pack, we bought all new leader guides. So everybody had one. So everyone was starting fresh. And I think within a year or two, they were already outdated. There was, there had been changes and there were new updates. And so it can be very pricey for packs, especially to have to constantly be buying new materials, that if we can find it digitally, it's such a cost savings. It's that thrifty side of our of our life, but it's so much more economical and it's more convenient to like, let me grab my phone, I can find what you need instead of my books in my car somewhere. So I think that's a great resource.
Yeah, and one thing that I've seen from at a national conference that I was at, it was actually pre-COVID. They shared with us how they're going to start putting the electives for all of the Cub Scout ranks on Scout Book, so that way the book will just kind of be the main adventures or the required adventures that they have to do, and then the electives they can kind of change and put in a new one or whatever, and make that's all digital. So that way it's easier to kind of change them or whatever they want to do with them, or add more or anything like that. So that way you don't end up having to buy a new book or a new guidebook every year that they come out with new electives and things like that. So if that hasn't happened yet, that is coming on the horizon, I know. So I saw that February of 2020. So I don't know if their focus got changed at all before that. So that is something that's coming on the way as well. Anybody else learn anything new?
I like that they had that online songbook because I've forgotten most of them, so it'll help me as much as the scouts.
Yeah, it'll help me just because I'm not that great of a singer. You can just hit play and don't have to work your way through it. So one thing I will mention too is Google's a great resource. So he mentioned that there's stuff on social media and people post on Pinterest or whatever. But even if I'm just looking for a simple, hey, I need to find a PDF of the adult application or whatever. If you just Google adult application BSA, the very first thing is going to be the PDF from scouting.org. So instead of trying to dig through scouting.org, sometimes if you just, put what you're looking for in Google and then put BSA, that'll get you right where you need to go. And then if you're looking for like an adventure or whatever, you might find some blogs or whatever of how other packs have done it before too. So Google is a great resource. I always just say put that BSA at the end, and that'll typically get you to the right spot. So let's go on to the next question here. What resources do you use the most or find the most helpful? So is there anybody out there that uses Scout Book?
A little bit, not fully.
Not fully.
I do in Pack 91.
Okay.
I enjoy it. I really like being able to see what's available, how far my son has advanced, how much he has left to do. The one thing that I don't like is when it can cross transferred, much like in the training, it doesn't. So if we're going camping and we're doing it in under one elective, it doesn't select it for all of the electives. So kind of find that a little difficult, but I really like it. And he likes seeing how much he's earned and seeing that on the computer.
There's progress bars, right? Yeah. And I think kids are always trying to fill those up. Hey, it's Tom Smith. Are you here?
Yeah, I am.
Tom, don't you use Scout Book for communication purposes?
Yes, I do.
You want to share a little bit about that?
I find that having people sort through and find emails and respond to emails is often difficult. So I use the double approach. I send them an email and then I'll send a text that just says, sent you an email. And that shows up as being from Scout Book. So hopefully that triggers that a little bit more. It's just hard to get people to sign up and let you do texting through Scout Book.
So they've got to opt into that?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's the extra step or they're just leery of doing it, but yeah, they do have to opt into it.
But you send the email through Scout Book and then you follow up with the text message.
Correct.
So if you guys didn't know, that is an option. So everybody, like when we collect the information off of their youth application, we put in an email address and a phone number, and that's where Tom uses that to send an email to everybody. It's a really nice feature. There are some people that are very savvy with their email, create groups and things like that to send out stuff too. But Scout Book will do it all for you. So you can send out an email and then Tom just follows up with a text message. Hey, check your email. So
One problem I've had a little bit with the email from Scout Book is if there's a bad address, I don't know if it's been delivered or not. Or if I use my own mail system, I'll get a message back that it wasn't delivered.
that's a good point, David. And that's where, if you follow up with a text or see them at the next meeting and say, hey, I sent an email and somebody says I didn't get it, that would be your red flag. But sometimes that's, a day late and a dollar short. So I totally understand that frustration.
I
They
do know.
might want to check their junk mail, make sure they get it.
So if,
Go ahead.
sorry, if somebody did come across having that needed to be updated, how do they get that updated?
Yeah.
Is that on the PAC or on the council?
So I guess I'm not 100% sure if the PAC would be able to go in and make that change, but for sure on the council's end, you can, let myself or Nikki know, hey, there's an A when it should be an O in this email or whatever it might be. Can you guys make that change for us? And then typically whenever we make a change on the back end, it takes 24 hours for it to sync up. So then you got to wait a day or so and then it'll be changed in Scout Book for you. So Matt, do you know if you can change it as a leader?
I don't think you can because that's tied to their login.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
And once they create their profile and their login, it's kind of set until, but I have had to go through Nikki at the office when there's been an error and it can be changed, but it's just a little more work intensive.
So can the person themselves change it? Like if I wanted to go in and change my information, I could go in and update it, couldn't I?
Right. So your email shouldn't be incorrect because it's based off of their login. Now, have they created a login and signed in? That's one thing as well. But their phone number could be off by 1 digit or something. So if you're sending out a text message, it might be going to Sally down the street, not the correct person. So,
Okay.
I would also note with Scout Book, you can also manage your unit's calendar through that. We use that a lot with PAC 91 and those events get sent out through emails with updates. There's also an option you can subscribe to that calendar, whether you're using iPhone or whether you're using Google Calendar. There is a way to subscribe to your unit Scout Book calendar and then get all of those events right on your own device. It's a little bit of a process to do it. A few settings to change in your email, but if you Google, subscribe to Scout Book calendar, you can get instructions to do that.
yeah. And if you need help doing that as well, I've worked with another unit earlier this year to kind of get them up to date on that.
It's also, people can RSVP to events that they're coming or not. And that's kind of helpful if you're planning food and overnights and things like that. So that is a helpful tool too.
Yes. I'm going to move on to what resources do your local district or council have. So one of the things is obviously the gatewayscouting.org website. That's, kind of your main place to go for stuff going on in the Gateway Council. Check that out. There's a Cub Scout tab. If you're going to go out to camp, there's a rentals area. There's typically a page for every single program that we've got going on, whether it's the Golden Eagle event or Polar Day Camp and things like that. So we do our best to keep that as up to date as possible. We're actually hopefully hiring a marketing intern to do a little bit better job of keeping that as up to date as well. So check out, gatewayscouting.org. We also have a Facebook page where we post about upcoming events and other things going on in the council. And so that's a great way to, if we've got like the 100-year anniversary coming up, we'll share photos on there of things that have happened. And that's a great way to kind of also promote scouting within your community that you have on Facebook too. So you can kind of show off things that you've done And a lot of times if your unit has a Facebook page and you share something, sometimes the council will come in and share that as well to our community that we have there. So it's a resource, and we're all in on Facebook. We're not on Instagram. We're not on Twitter or Reddit or anything like that. We are all in on Facebook because that typically is the one that people have. So looks like we've got 50 seconds left here. Is there any questions from anybody on here that we can answer real quick? Is everybody subscribed to the Gateway page on Facebook? If you just search Gateway Scouting, Gateway Area Scouting, you'll find that. There's also what is it? The Family Connection page as well. So there's two different pages you can subscribe to. But with that, we've got 10 seconds here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out and I can get you connected to these. So.
Are we all back? Are both breakouts? Is everyone returned now?
Yeah, Scouts BSA is
Looks like it.
closed.
Okay, very good. All right, welcome back, everyone. So now we have some updates from the council, some upcoming events and things to consider. And so the first item that we have here is training. And I know Lisa sent me a message earlier and said that she would not be able to be on. Scott, are you able to fill in and give us some of these updates? You're muted, Scott.
Trying to be a good Zoom citizen here. And, you know, the funny thing is it tells me if I sneeze or cough that I'm muted, but it doesn't tell me if I start to talk. You know, Lisa sent us some updates and being she was going to be out, and, you know, I'd encourage you to look on the council website for upcoming training events. The ones she sent were Scoutmaster and Assistant Scoutmaster leader specific training, but I don't have a date for that. And outdoor leader skill, introduction to outdoor leader skills, May 13th through 15th in 2022. Near and dear to my heart. Well, I probably can't talk about NYLT as part of training. I know there are several Cub trainings coming up, the Cub Scout Powwow in April 9th in Baloo, again in May 2022. But I just encourage you, there's more than any one mind can hold on to, I think, going on. And, you know, Scouts and Cub Scouts deserve trained leaders. So, you know, these are really great opportunities, and they're great opportunities. We were just talking on the Scout Breakout about the valuable resources we have in each other, and we can increase the value of those resources by participating and working with each other and getting to know folks around the council as we do. So that's probably the most I'm going to say.
Margaret, do you want to talk about the powwow at all?
A powwow has been rescheduled for April. Cub Scout leaders to come and spend the day learning new things or having fun reaching out and meeting other people. We only had 3 people sign up last time, and we need a lot more than that. So it's been rescheduled for the spring. And it's a fun day. It's really a fun day. Lunch is provided, be at camp, and you do 3 classes in the morning, come have lunch, and there's 3 classes in the afternoon, closing, and take all your wonderful stuff and go home. Hands on.
That'll kind of help people out if they're looking to learn the what and the how of like how to do a Pinewood Derby or how to do a blue and gold or how to plan other activities for their pack, right?
Yes, we've got Scott coming, setting up on all 3 of the derbies. And he'll show them how to set it up, how to do it. Which the rain gutter is best done outside, so that's a great summer activity. And the rockets haven't been really pushed that much, but those are really fun to do. And then the traditional cars. So he'll teach all 3 on that.
Yeah, it should be a really fun event. I believe, are we still going to stick with our Pirates theme for that as well?
Yes.
Awesome.
Come
So
in costume. Hopefully all the people teaching classes will be in costume as well. It's the Cub Scouts was always designed around a theme. So it's what I'm trying to bring back is the theme. So we have fun. The classes are the derbies. Then we have hands-on crafts class, games, that's inside and outside games, cooking for the den level and pack level when you go camping, ceremonies, and songs and skits. But quite a few people sign up. I think we still need 1 person yet to teach 1 class, but it's filling out.
yeah, so that'll be a really fun event to attend. So bring your big hat, bring your eye patch, and it'll be a lot of fun. And then that in-person training,
Provided.
lunch provided. And
Yep.
then that in-person training on March 26th, that's kind of what we were talking about in the Cub Scout breakout. That's going to be your den leader training, your Cub master training, and your pack committee training. So again, we'll go through those videos. You'll be able to ask questions from people that have been in those roles before, have some good discussion, and you'll come out of that trained in all those positions. So
Yeah, that'll depend upon who signs up for what as to what we'll be teaching that day.
mhm. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, Zach, are you going to take this one? Scout Night at
Yes.
Whitetail Ridge?
Yeah, so we're looking at having another scout night at Whitetail Ridge. Right now we've got January 22nd penciled in on the calendar. I believe that'll be finalized tomorrow on the date. So registration for that will be up very shortly after we have that date finalized with them. Looks like we're doing tubing again. So feel free to register through our website for tubing, and you'll be able to go out. You'll just say, hey, we're with the Scouts. You know, these Scouts signed up or these adults signed up. You know, it'll all be based off of the name that you register, and you guys will have a fun night out at Whitetail Ridge again.
Okay, Elizabeth asked me to ask everyone to save the date for the next Merit Badge Day, which is on Saturday, February 5th. I don't believe a location has been finalized for this yet. But by January 5th, there will be a list of classes available. The registration opens on the 11th. And also it didn't make it to this slide, but if you are a Merit Badge counselor and you're interested in teaching a class, you can contact Andy Olson or Elizabeth Kramer or call the Scout office and offer some assistance with Merit Badge Day. All right, and then we've got Polar Day Camp.
Yeah, Polar Day Camp will be Saturday, February 12th at Camp Decorah. So mark that down on your calendars. Cub Scout packs. That'll be a fun day to come out to camp. We'll have different events, kind of similar to Spookery, where they'll come out and go through some different stations. We'll try to do all those fun activities that the kids enjoy. Maybe we'll build some snow castles instead of sand castles because we're in the winter. So we're hoping for some snow to come down. Hopefully not too much snow like we're going to get tomorrow, but it'll be a fun day. Dress for the weather and come on out.
All right.
Do you know the cost for these things yet?
Polar Day Camp, we'll try to keep the cost anywhere between $10 to $15. We try to do a really good job on all of our programs to keep them fairly cheap. So just trying to figure out which activities we're going to have to do is going to, really drive what materials we're going to have to get for that event. So without having all those finalized just yet, then we don't know exactly what our materials cost is going to be. But between 10 to 15.
All right, Zach, have you got this one too?
Yes. So Tuesday, February 8th is our recognition event. You may have gotten a postcard in the mail, or you might get one very shortly, kind of promoting this event. Right now, we're looking to do it at Pettibone Banquet Hall, and it is $15. There will be some appetizers and some dessert there for you guys, but it won't be a full meal. But we will be giving out the District Award of Merit. I know we talked about that in the Cub Scout breakout. Did you guys mention that in the Scouts BSA as well?
We did not. We can touch on that for the full group if there's time.
Okay, so we'll be giving out the District Award of Merits, and we'll also be giving out a Silver Beaver Award. So purchase your ticket ahead of time for the event. You can use the QR code that's right there. You'll get it if you get the postcard in the mail. You can use the QR code, or you can visit the website to register. Anybody can register for this. We made it a form so that way, if grandma and grandpa want to come, or local business leader or something, then bring them along as well. They can get registered for it. But we will be highlighting those Silver Beaver, District Award of Merit, and then our Eagle Scouts as well, and then kind of highlighting all the different program teams and different events that happen throughout the year.
All right, so that does bring us to nominations for those awards. And I think Alan, I saw was on. Can you speak about these?
He may be, if he's not able to speak to it, I will real quick. So
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
some of you may have received an email, and an email that we sent out on this. You also can find the information on that recognition website. But exciting that once again we'll be able to honor some of our scouters with recognitions. So there's 2 different council awards which will be presented. There's the District Award of Merit, which is for individuals that have volunteered in the Cub Scout or the Scouts BSA district. And then there's the Silver Beaver Award, which is the highest award that a council can award to an adult volunteer. So I absolutely would encourage everybody to take a look at those nomination forms and maybe take some time to nominate an individual that you've been connected to through a scouting project, or in your scouting community, or in one of the past districts there. So again, you can't get the award if you're not nominated. So I would encourage everybody to, take some time on a nomination for someone that's close to them.
All right, thanks, Joe. All right, Zach, scouting for food.
Yes, so we are coming up. March is typically the time when units do scouting for food. We are not going to dictate when you do scouting for food. So we did have a few units that did it in April and May as well. But this is where you go out into your community. You may have previously put a door hanger or a bag on doors. Last year we switched to stickers. So they're little sticker pads. They're yellow, so they're really bright and can be easily seen. Please let me know 2 weeks ahead of time before you're going to go out and do your scouting for food and when you need your stickers. So that way I have time to print the labels with the correct pickup date and time for you guys. So you'll put out your stickers typically 1 week before your pickup date. It'll say, put your food out on March 12th or before 9 a.m. and a scout will come by and pick up the food. So then you go out on that date, pick up all the food that you see outside, and then deliver that to a local food pantry. So with that, if you need help setting up a drop-off time with a local food pantry, let me know and I can kind of help assist you with lining that up, because sometimes it is a big task for the local food pantry. And if they don't know that you're going to bring 600 items of food in, they can be caught off guard and may not have a lot of people there to help you. So if you need help doing that, just let me know. But then you also want to keep track of the number of items, because we really want to promote this year how many items we picked up around the 9 counties that we have. And as well as maybe some local promotion as well. So I know like Holman, the units there do a really great job of communicating with one another and kind of splitting up the neighborhoods of where they're going to cover. So this is a good opportunity to work within your scouting communities to kind of make sure that you don't have any overlap, and we can cover all the right neighborhoods to make that happen. So again, just 2 weeks before you're going to go out, let me know how many stickers you think you're going to need, and we can get all that stuff printed and ready to go for you. Go out, pick up the food, or put out the stickers, pick up the food, and just track how many items you get.
All right, and this is a new event, possibly. Zach, do you have any, just a summary of what maybe is in the works with this one?
Yeah, potentially we're looking at doing a Council Pinewood Derby and towards the end of April. This would be hopefully after everybody's done their Pinewood Derby with their unit. So you can take that, winning car that you built and then potentially race it against other people within the council. We would probably end up doing this out at camp, but it's something that we're talking about doing in the works right now, but nothing's set in stone yet.
All right.
We would need a project team for that. So if you're here tonight as a club leader and you think that sounds like an exciting opportunity, or maybe you've been attending other events that you've seen other volunteers putting on, we absolutely need some people to help out with this if it's going to be a thing. So if you have an interest, you can reach out to Zach or your scouting community guide.
Okay. All right, I don't know if I saw Todd or Eric on, but Joe, I believe you met with them recently for some updates on this event.
Yeah, the exciting things for the group to know. First and foremost, please save the date, May 6, 7, and 8 of 2022. Really, May 7 is going to be the height of activity out at Camp Decorah. If you're here tonight as a Scouts BSA troop, begin to think about what sort of display you could potentially put on during that weekend event. And really, that would be something that highlights something unique about scouting that your unit does, or it could be a scouting skill. It could even be a summary of past trips, but we're looking to look into that as a way to spread the word on all the good things that happen in scouting as well. And then for Cub Scout families, certainly make plans to attend as a den or as a pack. There'll be a variety of activities, and there's going to be an early registration window on this due to it being a planning event for potentially 800 people. We're going to be looking to know what do we have people coming. So you should be prepared that there will be a registration deadline about 3 weeks ahead of the event, so that we have some good planning time. And stay tuned. We're going to keep putting pieces out on this month by month here between now and May 7th.
All right, thank you. And Joel is going to give us an update on what needs to be done to get ready for the event.
Well, hello, everyone. We had our first one December 4th. There's a lot of cleanup. Obviously, if you've not been up at camp, you hopefully understand or know about the logging that's going on up at camp. So you're aware all of the redwood pine pretty much through camp is being taken out. And just so you're aware, there's 2 reasons for that. One is there's the average age of a red pine in our area is 65 years, give or take, right? And that pretty much puts every red pine on camp in that category. The second part, and more importantly, is we have a disease going through our red pine called red pine pocket mortality, which is a fungus basically that attacks the root system and deteriorates the tree to a point that then the beetles insects start taking over, and once they take over, the tree will be dead within months. And we've seen that throughout camp through our red pine. So right now we're taking them out simply because we can get monies for them. Right now they're worth lumber, logs, and some pulpwood, but so the majority of the wood's being used. But for our work days, because of this, we have a lot of cleanup that we would like to get done prior to May 7th. We have some signs that need to be repainted. We have brush that needs to be removed. We have general painting, possibly of some of the area. We are taking, those of you that know camp, the Eagle Pavilion, which is a pavilion that stands between the dining hall and the pool. We are turning into a new trading post, simply because it's a lot closer. There's a lot of people that don't like to venture up the hill to the old trading post. So we can do it reasonably, and we believe that we'll get way more bang for our buck by having it at that location. There's a lot of items that scouts can also do. Basically, a lot of this brush is going to need to be burned, or if someone has access to a chipper, we would do a lot of the chipping. Obviously, the scouts can't put the limbs in the chipper, but they can drag them towards the chipper that we can put in. So there's items that I would encourage you to bring your troops out also to assist with getting this cleaned up and ready for our May 7th event. As you can see, the dates are there. Pick a date. Normally we'll start at 8 a.m. I do ask at this time you bring a lunch, just simply because we don't know how many people are going to show up. So we do ask that you bring a lunch, and other things would be work gloves, eye protection, ear protection, shovels, rakes, those types of items that we have at camp, but if we have enough people, we don't have enough for everybody. So it's always good to bring your own, but please somehow identify your tools so you get your tools back.
All right, thank you.
That's-
Sounds like it. Go ahead.
No, that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds like a great opportunity if you have scouts in need of service hours for advancement. All right, just a reminder of our upcoming schedule. We will continue to meet on the second Thursday of the month through May for Roundtable. Next month, we will be back to scouting community breakouts. So we hope to see you all back here on January 13th. And with that being said, we've come to the end of our agenda. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Yeah, I don't have much to share with everybody. We had a lot of great content. First and foremost, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope that everybody's able to spend some time with family throughout the month. And, that's one of the real gifts that scouting gives us, in my opinion, and something that I encourage us to really spread the word on, is that scouting is one of the few youth activities that you can truly do as a family together. And I can think back of so many great family experiences that I've observed through individuals participating in scouting. Really something for us to keep in mind and share with others as we promote the good things that scouting does. I want anyone here on the Cubs side to really tune into those great training opportunities that are coming up here in the spring. Look online for those, look in the newsletter for those as well. Our poll seems to be having an issue here, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Maybe I can log out and log back in. So if you're still around, look for the poll in a moment. If you've got to get to dinner or get to kids' bedtimes, I understand that too.
All right, looks like I have a poll here.
Oh, yeah, Joe is working on my end. So,
all right.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next month.
So is Joel still on?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, nope, I don't see him. All right.
You need his phone number. Scott.
Is there any issue with going up to camp at some point and trying to pull some like straight pieces of pine, some staves out of the treetops they've cut out?
Scott, why don't I have you talk with Joel directly, just so he can kind of get an idea exactly what you intend and mean on it. But
All right, yeah, I'm just looking for some. I'm hoping that there's some straight pieces of lumber up there I can pull out and do some lashing practices with our boys. And I think I have Joel's contact information, so I can get in touch with him directly.
okay, sounds good, Scott.
I'll send you his number here, Scott.
All right, thank you.
I went to open up that poll and it said you're not the host. Poll can't be enabled. So I don't know what. At some point, I must have made somebody else the host or something.
It popped up with me saying that I was the host. So
Yeah.
let me maybe